The civil rights picture of those years was one of violence, of segregationists lashing out in resentment at the school desegregation decision. The names in the news were names like Little Rock and Clinton, Tennessee. Somewhere outside the picture was Dr. King, speaking, traveling.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. If you see a white family, it says they're looking for food.
What would happen to me from some of our sick white brothers.
Oh, Jesus! Somebody's shooting!
Well, I don't know what will happen now, but it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop.
Oh my God, those cops are just sitting over there!
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Black Lives Matter is an activist group. It's basically just for the equality of all races, but just focusing on black lives at the moment just because of all of the racial inequality that we're facing specifically.
Black Lives Matter is a new form of civil rights movement. It's focused on defying ignorance and making people realize that everyone's lives are important. And in this age, we have many different people that are being killed by police and being oppressed, and we have to make sure that everyone knows that Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter is a movement for people other than African Americans. We use this movement to express our feelings, to have a voice since we're not supposed to have one, and to identify issues of injustice since we are supposed to be equal.
I understand you had like a rally like last year, or was it this year?
The one that I posted on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Hold on, let me go back to it, because it was regarding a specific incident, but I don't remember which one. Oh, okay. So this was after Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. And I don't know if you've seen those videos of those two men being killed, but it was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And I did that because, aside from the fact that it's disgusting, it always seems like there's some form of justification on the side of white people. They always seem to say, oh, he had a gun, yada, yada, yada. However, if Mike Brown was a criminal in any way, shape, or form, he deserved a trial. That's what we are taught. That is in our amendments. So you have young white men who go to shoot up theaters and schools, and yet they're taken alive. They're still here. And they have a trial. Dylan Roof, he's been going to trial. Yet Mike Brown, his life was taken before he had the chance for a trial, and that's not fair. So when you see the lives of young black men being taken, it's disgusting. And it all happened like within the same week. And it was like 7 black men who died that week. Like it was so sickening. And it wasn't just Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. Like I think those two had to have been the breaking point for a lot of people, for me especially, for my community. And so to sit there, and I live in Webster Groves in St. Louis, and so it's very, very conservative. Mostly white people who all have Trump stickers on their windowsill, and so it's very conservative. And so I had to make sure that they knew that that was not okay by the people who it's affecting, which is young black teens.
Shoot them with their hands up and maintain their hold when they insist that they can't breathe, and sometimes they mistake Skittles and tea.
Teens have taken a giant step in involving themselves with the movement through social media, protesting, and getting others to talk about the social issues. The majority of murders have come from police brutality or the senseless usage of guns by civilians, predominantly white. The influx of brutality against African Americans have increased within the past 4 years, especially in 2016, according to the BBC News.
The officer points his stun gun at her.
I'm giving you a lawful order. I'm going to drag you out of here.
So you threatening to drag me out of my own car?
Get out of the car!
And then
I will light you up. Get out!
Wow.
Now!
Hey, boss. Hey, boss. Get on the ground!
If this was outside, bitch, I would have been going down.
Fuck you!
The outrage of African Americans have been expressed through art, protest, and looting. The worst event since the 1992 Los Angeles riots occurred after the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri on August 9, 2014.
Yeah, that's up, man. They said he had his hands up and everything, man.
They was trying to get at him?
I don't know. I went out here. I just heard the gunshot.
I heard the gunshots from Walmart. Stay all the way up there.
Yeah.
How have you been affected by all the events that have happened in the past 4 years?
It's hurt a lot. Some deaths didn't hurt me as much as others, but some were really close to home. Like, man, there's so many names, honestly. Even if I just mention one, it was an impact, but it's more of like the idea that if my brother walks out the house one day, he might not come back, and that's hard to think about. Like, my brother he's 16, but he could pass off as 20, and he's a football player, so he's not big, but he's strong, and he's got like muscles and stuff like that, so I guess he could intimidate somebody, but that doesn't mean that he's provoking anyone, it hurts. It honestly does hurt.
In the past 4 years, I've been affected greatly, significantly, because it's made me realize that my brothers can be targets. It's made me realize that I could be a target. I have to work harder and do more things that a white person wouldn't have to, or, like other minorities wouldn't have to, because they don't get pulled over or ask certain questions because they're black. And it makes us seem like we have to take the extra step or do something to prevent the stereotypes. And yeah.
Past 4 years, I've been affected greatly. Starting with Mike Brown. He got shot and killed in Ferguson, which is very close to where I live personally. And for me, that was really scary because, I am a black person in St. Louis and in America, and it's always a question, well, am I next, or is my brother next, is my friend next? So it affected me a lot.
Seeing people who look like me being killed, it hurts. Seeing one of my close friends cry because Michael Brown got shot, that was his cousin, that hurts.